This year, I'm focusing on using my planner to boost my creativity and achieve my dreams. I'm so excited to share my setup with you. Hey there, and welcome back to Paint on the Desks. I'm Sarah, and if you're new here, this channel is all about inspiring everyday creativity through art, journaling, and mindful planning. Today, we're setting up my Hobonichi Cousin Avec for 2025. I'm aiming for a minimal and functional setup that sparks creativity and joy every day. Let's get started. Here's the Hobonichi Cousin Avec. I love the A5 size. It's typically my favorite size journal and planner to work with. The lightweight Tomoe River paper is perfect for fountain pens and all sorts of creative planning. I've got my stickers kind of gathered together, paper, washi tapes, and pens, so I'm ready to go. If you aren't familiar with the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, it comes in two parts, and the January through July version is this yellow color that I didn't love, so I decided to customize it just a little bit more. I have craft sticker paper, and I use that to create a more neutral base, and I love how it looks. Craft paper is kind of a favorite of mine in any collage type work I do, so I just love the neutral base. I used a pencil to trace the covers and make sure I had the correct size. I then used my paper trimmer to trim it up and make sure it was nice and even. Once I did that, I was just careful about how I put it on, making sure that I didn't have any bubbles in the cover. I did this on both the front and the back of that cover. Now for the fun part of starting to add some more personality, and I did that mostly with stickers. So I have a collection of stickers that I've made myself, and some mostly from Happy Planner collections of sticker books. I just gathered those out and I started decorating. This, as you'll see, was probably the most time-consuming part of this whole setup, so I am going to speed us through a little bit. I also made some custom 2025 stickers for this, and you'll see in a minute custom stickers just for a couple of the pages for the rest of the setup as well. I just, played around with what I had and arranged a couple of different ways until I found something that I liked. I love these stickers of my dog, Ryder. He is not really a pup anymore, but those are some stickers I made when he was a puppy that are some of my favorites. After spending some time figuring out an arrangement that I really loved on the front, I moved on to the inside flyleaf pages. That inside flyleaf area, I just decided to add more of my favorite stickers that I've made that I had some leftovers of. And then turning to my title page, I ended up using this favorite sticker of my dog. I included some stamps that I enjoy, as well as a stamp of my name, just for some personalization. moving on to the year at a glance section, I've decided I'm going to do a year in pixels type tracker to mostly track my hobbies and creative activities. I really want to see where I'm spending my time and make sure I'm doing things that I enjoy every day, but also just to be intentional with, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, taking time to do something for me, which is something I've really been missing in my life lately. So that's one of my goals and focuses for the year, and I'm actually really excited about how I decided to do this. I made those personalized month headers for this page. The Hobonichi Avec is only available in the Japanese version, which most of the pages, I don't mind. The day and the date are in English, but this page in particular, I really wanted to see the month and the days of the week so that I wouldn't get confused, but also it was just a little bit easier to read at a glance. And I used it as an opportunity to add just a little bit of more color and more personality. And I just designed those on my computer and then printed them out on sticker paper. On the opposite page of the year at a glance, I went ahead and added my vision board. This I designed on my iPad and then printed it out as an A5 size to take up that page. I'm not going to go over specifically what's in that vision board or the meaning behind it, but it's just another great way to keep a focus on if I'm looking at this at a glance page every day or every other day, to kind of see my vision and goals for the year in a visual way, hopefully to keep me focused and motivated on what I want. I had a little trouble deciding what 2025 to put up there. That darker one with the white letters was actually the first one I designed and intended for this page, but once I got it printed out and laid out, it looked a little bigger than I wanted, so I'm going to come back to that later. To help me keep track of my year in pixels, I created a key on this small sheet of paper. It's actually from a Hobonichi notepad from a year or two ago, but I love the teal and the cute little design. It's a Northern Lights design on that notepad, and so I just created the key using my dot markers, which is what I'm going to use for the year at a glance, and use a little bit of washi tape to secure that in there with like a tip-in type method. And you see I pulled out a gift card to help me get that tip in there securely. That's a tip from Sarah Cannon on Heart Breathings is where I picked that up. That's just an old Best Buy gift card that I use for really whatever I need it for when I need it, but I use it to make sure that washi tape is really securely in that seam. I just kind of fold the washi tape over it and put the crease area in first, and then with the page there I smooth it onto the page so that it's nice and tightly in that corner. And it works great. I finished the year at a glance page, and then you see me turn to the future log, or habit tracker is what some people use this for. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with this for tracking my mood and energy levels and a couple other health related things, but I wasn't quite ready to set it up because I was still kind of planning that out. So more to come on that later. The next spread that I worked on is what is originally the December monthly planner. I didn't plan to start working in this until January, and so I made a plan for this December spread. Folks use it for different things. Some people use it for ink samples. Some people use it for their media tracker or like books they want to read. I decided to do a 25 in 2025, which just means that I chose 25 things that I wanted to do this year. They're mostly like fun activities, just to keep the year interesting. And that's what I set up here. It actually ended up being set up, in a 5x5 square. So afterwards I thought it could also be considered a bingo board. After I put down the header and the washi tape, you'll see that I was having a little trouble deciding how I wanted to number them. I don't always love my handwriting, especially in an area where I want it to be consistent. So I kind of paused on that, and you'll see that I come back to it to number everything. Now that I had used other headers I had, I went back to that at a glance tracking page and went ahead and put another 2025 sticker I had that I felt like fit better size-wise onto that page to finish that up. Alright, moving away from the 25 and 25, the next spread that you come to is the January monthly calendar. I set that up right before January started, and that's probably what I'll do every month. But I'm starting to put on my index tabs from Midori. I love these little copper tabs that just slide on. I didn't want to use any sticker tabs because I wasn't sure how committed I was to them, and I don't love the look of them. So I love these little Midori tabs, and I'm going to put them in the key areas that I know I'll flip to, and then I can move them week to week or month to month. So I have one there on January, because that'll be the month that I'm working in first. And then I add it next to the first weekly spread of the year for when I get there. And then I moved on to also add one to the start of the daily pages. And what I'll likely do is move these every week to every day, depending. The day area, I'll probably use the bookmarks for that, or my pencil board to mark that every day. But at least the section is marked. Maybe I'll change it like once a month. I also added them, you see I have the post-it notes to kind of help guide me to the areas that I would want tabs. So this is the end of the daily pages to where the note or memo pages begin. And I put one there. The last place I put one is at the end of the memo pages, where some of those reference and graph specialty pages start. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use those for. I do have a little pen test from when I first got the Avec, and I was very excited to try it out with some of my fountain pens. But beyond that, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use those end reference pages for. And if you're familiar with the Hobonichis, the Avec doesn't actually have the 100-day or 100 things tracker, but it does have some of the favorites and a gifts tracker and a couple other of those regular pages. After I put the index tabs on, I started thinking about the couple of other things that I wanted to finish up. This is the turn a page on the New Year spread. You can see on the bottom, again, as soon as I got it, I played with fountain pens in it. So I just did a little doodle on there. At the time of setup, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with this. I think I've now decided what I'm going to do. I put a 2025 sticker on there, mostly because I wasn't interested in that little monthly calendar. A lot of people use this page to write a letter to themselves. I've seen a couple people use it a few different ways. I didn't think I was going to do a word of the year this year. That's something I've done in the past. But I did actually end up doing something for that. I kind of used this turn a page on the new year to set some intentions for the year, and I ended up with more of a phrase for the year instead of just a word. And I might share more of that in a future video, but definitely in a flip through, you'll see what I ended up doing there. After thinking about it for a few minutes and looking through my stash of stickers and planner supplies, I found some really basic white on black circle numbers, and I decided to use those for my 25 in 2025 spread just to make it look a little bit more cohesive. I did not set up or use all of the blocks of December. Obviously, there are 31 days in December, and I only needed 25 blocks. So I did it in a 5x5 square, which left the Saturday and Sunday columns open. And I think what I'm going to use those parts of the page for is kind of recording key memories that go along with some of these things, or like maybe the dates when we did them, just highlights of some of the things that I end up doing to mark off this 25 in 25 section. So that brings us to the end of my initial setup for the inside of the Hobonichi and the cover of the actual book. So now that I was done with the physical book setup, I was ready to put it in my cover. This is a Hobonichi fabric cover. I think it's actually from 2 or 3 years ago, a release 2 or 3 years ago. I found it on Amazon. None of the current release ones spoke to me like this one did. It's a really pretty kind of indigo, bluey purple color. So it's a really pretty deep color. It's not really purple, but it's more on the purple side of a deep blue. I don't know if that's a great reference, but, and then I love the splash of hot pink. Pink's not usually a color that I go for, but I've been drawn to it more often. And really anything with, you know, a more of a neutral color, which I feel like sometimes a navy blue can be a neutral, and a splash of bright color I'm usually pretty drawn to. I also added the plastic Hobonichi cover on cover to that with the little stripes. Again, this is not from this current release, it was from a few years ago, and I found it and I loved it, so I went ahead and got that. I also plan to keep this Hobonichi just like memo book in with the planner. The Hobonichi covers are designed for their regular Hobonichi Cousin, and the Avec has extra room. Plus, I like the idea of just having extra notes pages. I've already started using this one for a few different things. Something else I decided to add to this cover, I have these 3D like vegan leather stickers, patches from Happy Planner that I've had for a while, and I actually noticed that the color looked great, so I decided to pull those out and pop one on the cover that says create, and I just have kind of loved these and didn't know exactly where to put them, wasn't ready to commit to putting them anywhere, and decided that it would look great on here. That pink, actually, one of the pinks on there matches the pink on the inside of that cover really well. So I don't actually stick it on there. I use the sticky thing that held it to the packaging, and that is how it's attached to the fabric cover underneath that cover on cover now. And I actually just really loved how it turned out. It just adds a little something extra. I don't know if I'll leave it in there the whole time, but for now, I'm pretty happy with it. So flipping through one last time just to look over everything. That's that memo book. I have my name on there as a title page to that. And then some of the stickers I didn't use but I love, I just popped in those pockets for fun. Actually kind of excited that the blue of the memo book coordinates with the outside of the cover so well. And then flipping through a final look, the flyleaf pages, the title page, my year at a glance tracker with key and my vision board for 2025. These pages will be for like health and habit tracking, my 25 and 25 spread, and then we're into January and our monthlies. Moving on to our weekly pages. That is a Hobonichi pencil board that I anticipate keeping with my weeklies. And the turn a page on a new year spread for the start of 2025. And then I will start using this regularly January 1st. And I look forward to filling these pages. I will more than likely keep this Lamy Safari pink Cliff pen in there because I felt like it just matched so perfectly with that little touch of pink, and the blue coordinates really well with that like deep bluish gray color that is the pink Cliff. And there you have it. That's my Hobonichi Cousin Avec setup for 2025. I hope you enjoyed this peek into my planner and found some inspiration for your own creative planning journey. I typically try to keep it pretty minimal, pretty functional, and leave lots of room for creativity. As I go, I plan to kind of use this how I need it this year. I'd love to see how you're setting up your planners, so snap a photo and share it on Instagram. You can always tag me. I'm at Paint on the Desks, so I can check it out, and let's remember to inspire each other. Stay tuned for more videos on art journaling, creative prompts, and fun DIY projects. Thanks for watching, and happy planning.